Hello and welcome back to Dark Souls. Most folks call me Orange Joe, and in the last episode we broke the game and I complained. We got, a lot further along. By the way, I think I know how to do the thing now, so let me find something I can consume quick. Humanity something. I'm gonna, just in case, I'm gonna drop all my extras, but I'm gonna, just bear with me. I'm gonna try. I think that's how you do it. So, yep. Okay. So yeah, we never need a merchant again, is the thing. Because of that, I didn't look that up. I didn't. Oops. Hit the right buttons, please. That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you. That's excellent. I didn't look that up or anything like that. I promise. I'm just an epic gamer. Do I want more SCs? Yeah. Nah, I'll be fine. Five's fine. Smash cut to me dying in like 5 seconds because I'm out of S's way sooner than I should be. I'm like, there was nothing I could do, dude. I could shoot off the tail and get the Drake sword. Just gotta be honest with you, I don't care to do it right now. I'll come back and do it later. Like, I will, but don't like super expect it anytime soon. What are they talking about? Yeah, this guy is just busted, and it's really hard to get him to do what you want most of the time. And actually, this part, these rats right here, rats, they are the rats. They might kill me because they deal poison damage, and poison in this game is just ridiculous. It's just uncool. Yep, and I'm poisoned. Check that out. So I have to wait until that entire bar goes away, and meanwhile, like, my health is constantly ticking down. And there are ways to heal it in the game, but not yet. There is no healing item for me to consume yet that would actually take care of that. So the issue is that if I were an on-level character, getting poisoned right here means either just willingly die or go back to the bonfire. But because we have so much health and we're such a high level, I can afford to wait until it almost kills me and then consume humanity to kind of fill in the gaps. It's really stinky that I have to, but that's just the way this game works. Isn't it fun? Haha. I shouldn't, like, be too hard on it. Like, this game is excellent. It's just there's some things about it that are like, I didn't like how much I was hearing you step around up here, fella. There's some things about it that I would fix. And the design choice of having poison be right there and be all right almost instant is one of them. All right. He's just faster than us, is the thing. All right. Like, he's just built different is really what that one boils down to. So rip me, because he's like, okay, so literally I cannot get off an R2, which is the heavy attack. That one. His swings came out faster than mine did, so I physically could not swing. Can I have your sword? So, like, literally, I was hitting the button as soon as I was able, and the game was like, no, he just hit you. Sorry. But it's fine. Who's complaining, right? It's a perfect game. 10 out of 10. No, so I have an opinion. Go figure. I think anyone who says they have an opinion that aggressively is someone who you have to kind of be leery of. And that's true. But I have an opinion about the Dark Souls, like, hierarchy, and, like, but I gotta tell you, I know I'm wrong, but it's how I feel. So, like, if I'm gonna rank, hey, no fair. I'm the one who's supposed to deal all the damage, not you. If I were to rank the Souls games, all of them, including, so if I was to do the whole Sekiro's Bloodborne. because you know there's Soulsborne and then Sekiro, so Sekiro'sborne. And if you want to add the as of yet upcoming Elden Ring, it could be Sekirosdenborn Ring, or Elden Sekirosdenborn. You know, I'll accept either. They'll get you full credit on the test. I want the boar helmet. Ooh, camera. I would put Dark Souls as the third best in the entire franchise for me, and I want to do a video on this at some point. It's a totally original idea, please don't steal it, where I would do a tier list of all the Dark Souls games. Never heard of it before, right? Pretty clever, isn't it? Can I get the helmet? You didn't give me the helmet, you madman. Oh, he pulled the lever. Yeah, that's fine. But I would do a tier list of all of them, except the way I would kind of make it my... Get me. The way I would make it my own. Really? Alright. Is I would... Alright. Instead of it being the standard tier list where it's just, you know, S tier, A tier, B tier, so on and so forth, I would instead... And this would take... the use of Microsoft Excel, TM, not a sponsor, obviously, and charts, which I would have to brush up on my ability on how to do them, which is, I know that's the nerdiest thing you've ever heard. Don't heckle me. I know how stupid I sound, but I'd have to kind of re-up my ability to do that and have like a live updating graph, excuse me, however you want to put it, where it would kind of, my inputs that I would put in for multiple... God, this is just, I can feel my glasses falling down my nose, and the urge to, you know, I'm resisting the urge to push them up and go accurately. But the ability for a chart or graph to have a live input and update based on multiple data points and inputs would be excellent, because what I want to do is I want to get multiple categories and then put all of the games in the FromSoft kind of, you know, ARPG catalog. Oh, I can't see because of my bonk. think right about there should do it. Hey, I did it. Night shield, nice. Where I want to lead by kind of setting the mystery. It won't really be a mystery if you watch this episode. I'm just gonna spoil the list, but by setting the mystery of like, hey, I'm doing a tier list and I have my preconceived list over here, and then on the fly I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna rate each game on a series of categories. All right, get me out of here. I've made a mistake. Hello, Baldur Knight. All right, my weapon is too tall for this hallway, it would seem. All right, yeah, it has been confirmed, so I need to get out of here. That makes... Oh, I thought I just fell to my death. That makes sense that I couldn't swing it in there, but also I call shenaniganery. But regardless, so I would say like, hey, I have a preconceived idea of how I rank these games and why. And then I would put them... By the way, that was my chair squeaking. If you heard that, I don't know. It's squeaking again, so if you heard it the first time, you're hearing it now. But I just wanted to reaffirm that I'm not a gassy antelope on cam, on mic. I'm doing my best to have a mildly professional decorum. Anyway, let's talk about boobies or whatever. So but I would be like, here's my preconceived list, and then here's like me on the fly judging them based on these categories. Several of the categories would be like moment-to-moment gameplay. So how does the actual gameplay feel? Mark as well. What's the atmosphere like of like the overall world, or you know, all right, is that picking up? Okay, now she... Yep, you can definitely hear that. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right back. And just like that, he's back. I keep doing that on return to the game. Oops. Oh, I did it twice. The joke's so nice I did it twice. But so like where was I? Atmosphere would be a big category for several of the games, and like what I would want to do is I would want to take like a look at like, here's, you know, how does my overall like feeling of like playing the game and enjoyment weigh against how much I appreciate the game itself. Because I love this dude, he's so cool looking. Because like, here's the thing, I'm gonna spoil the list for you right now, so if you want to watch that video whenever I decide to make it, / if I decide to make it, you know, cover your ears for just a little bit. But otherwise I'm just gonna go through it right now. Ready. So I think that the absolute least fun of the entire oeuvre for me personally, it's actually Sekiro. And it pains me to say that, because I would probably be the first to tell you that that one plays the smoothest out of like any of them, with slight exception and caveat. But the thing about Sekiro and why it's make it all right, that's fine, why it's my least favorite is that I just don't have fun playing it. Its atmosphere is fantastic though. Like the game itself, the way it's contained and the way it sets its world up, and like the pageantry of it all, and like the enormity of several of the bosses, and like everything, it's great. It's really genuinely wonderful. But I just don't have fun doing it, man. Like it's just not for me. It's too fast, and like the bam 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 parry system is like, I just don't care. Like I just don't want to deal with it. By the way, how much less is this way? Half. Why? We should just use this. Let's say its swing arc is better. I know that sounds pretentious and stupid, but believe me, the ability for a greatsword like to do that means that you can, if you time it right, you can effectively swing in like a near perfect circle that hits everything around you, and it hits the weak spot for massive damage. Plus we're lighter now, which is kind of the most important thing about all that. But anyway, I appreciate Sekiro, I truly do, but it's just not for me. Is all it really comes down to at the end of the day. And I have nothing against people who like Sekiro. Jeez, that was bad. It's just my least favorite, and I appreciate and respect anyone who would put it anywhere higher, even if they put it as their favorite in the entire oeuvre. That's fine. I disagree, but I'm not mad that you picked that one. In fact, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you like it, because it's a game that has a lot to like. And then my second least favorite, that's really tough. So Demon's Souls is one that I have played, and this is kind of already, I'm gonna bury the lead and tell you like which two it's in contention for me, and so you'll know what the next one up is. But Demon's Souls is a game that I have played. I'm about to start saying some words that I shouldn't be saying. You can't say that on TV, dude. I also keep running to that exact same side of it. I keep making the same exact mistakes right here. Getting the camera on this jump right is really hard. And like, do I even have to be doing this? No, of course I don't. But I'm stubborn and stupid. But Demon's Souls is a game that I played on the PS3 only. The PS5 version came out and it looks beautiful and I want to play it. It also looks like it's a beautiful disaster in a lot of ways, because it has the exact same mechanics as it did back when it was a terrible PS3 game. It's not terrible. I shouldn't say terrible, but it's clear that like I should heal. It wasn't the intended end point. It wasn't. Are you kidding me? It wasn't the fully realized vision, and you can kind of see that. I would argue, like in kind of everything it does. It's just not. Like, man, when it came out, like it was like I can respect being contemporaneous with it. I never was, because I played this first, but I can respect people who were and were like, you know, it's fun and it had its mechanics and it had some really cool ideas, and it did. Oh, excuse me. But like every single boss fight pretty much is a gimmick fight, and it, like the original Demon Souls, like looks like butt. Like, don't get me wrong, this game doesn't look like friggin', you know, roses and wonderful graphics, but it's, to me, this isn't like hard to look at, whereas the original Demon Souls, its color palette is what I would define as hard to look at. Why? You know what? Okay, I'm pretty sure, and we're gonna find out, we're gonna have some words. I'm pretty sure you can just roll. I don't think you have to jump. Really don't. So that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna roll, and I'm willing to stake my survival on it, because I might die if I fall wrong again. But anyway, it's just like the game is really janky, like even compared to this, which is admittedly a very not smooth experience a lot of the time, and it just isn't very fun. So like once I play the PS5 version, I'm sure I will readjust my scope, but at least in the offset, Demon Souls is probably the next one up. And then after that, I'm sure it isn't any surprise to anyone, but it's Dark Souls 2. Yep, you totally can. Could have done that this whole time. Dark Souls 2. Say what you will about it. You can like it. It sucks. It just sucks. Like, there's so many things about it that I'm like, that's a cool idea. And that's all the farther my thought goes. Because it's an idea that's good, not the game. It's, oh, don't be like this. Tell me, thank you. I say, tell me I can actually make it up here. That's the key to the other place, by the way. But, hey, a soul, more levels. But like, man, it's just, Dark Souls 2, I struggle with, personally, for a lot of reasons. Not because it's hard, although it is, actually. I think Dark Souls 2 is like, on the whole, okay, and this is Scholar of the First Edition. I need to be very clear about that. Original Dark Souls 2 at launch was a joke because it was so easy. And I've heard people say that like base Dark Souls 2 is like really hard. It's not. It's like, so again, never fault anyone who struggles with Dark Souls games, ever. It's never a weakness to admit that a game is hard, because they are. But if you're looking at a comparative sliding scale, I would say Sekiro is the hardest, mostly because it's a learning curve for me, because I'm used to these games and Bloodborne, but they function all within a very similar set of rules and mindsets, and Sekiro breaks that mold so hard that I can't adjust to it. It's a departure too far for me. And I'm not saying that has to set a trend for anyone else. It's just, ooh, excuse me, that guy's wearing, that red armor you saw there is probably the armor we will end up more than likely finishing the game in. It's not that good. I want to make that clear. Like, it's not that, what I've just said makes it sound like it's incredible armor. It's not. It's just light. It's light and it doesn't suck. Because rolling is more important than good armor in this game, as tragic as that is to say. And this game just really do be like that. But what was I saying? But yeah, so Dark Souls 2, if you're looking in line with like the difficulty of every other Dark Souls game, at launch Dark Souls 2 was not, right, you have to do the other thing first, dummy, was not on par. It just wasn't. And Scholar of the First Sin, I'll admit, fixed that for the most part, because it added in a bunch of needed enemies and it kind of made the world feel more lively. It moved a lot of stuff around, and I don't think it rebalanced the game, but it might have. It very well could have done a rebalance, and if it did, it was in needing for it. Congratulations on whoever just rung the bell. but it just Dark Souls 2, like the Scholar of the First Sin, has some bosses in the DLC that are very tough. Hey Andre, learn gesture please. Hurrah. We could do this, and actually this isn't a bad idea. This is really Titanite shards for this one, huh? Weren't so heavy I'd use it. Can we buy from you, by the way? We want this. We just straight up, we want that. We want this. I want this. You sell any weapons? I'm sorry, I know I've sidetracked myself here, but okay, that was important. We should reinforce our Estus flask, but no concern for now. But Dark Souls 2, like, I just, oops, after, all right, literally my friend and I were playing Dark Souls 2 together about a year ago. Like, we were doing not a co-op campaign, but kind of, where he would, and I don't want this to be like to come off as rude. This isn't meant as a judgment on him, but he had never played Dark Souls 2 before, and he also never played Dark Souls 1, and we'll get into that in a second. But my friend had never done Dark Souls 2, and he was like, hey, what if we played it together? It's my first time through. And I was like, yeah, you'd probably like the game a lot then, you know, because anything's better with friends, right? Okay. Parties, if you don't have friends there, it's kind of sad rather than fun. You know, well, okay, obviously not now. This is during like healthy human times, right? But you know, parties are better with friends, playing games are better with friends, dying's better with friends, you know, driving down the streets better with friends. Huh? No, what do you mean the last one? Driving down the street? Before that, parties? No, after that. Video games. No, I'm pretty sure that's all I said. I gotta be so weird about it, dude. Anyway. Oh, what a bad bit. No, wait. Why don't I... Well, I'm here. I'm gonna upgrade my Zweihander. But no, everything's better with friends, right? And so we were playing through it, and the deal is that I didn't really summon him that much for help, and I was summoned into his world for bosses for help in the start. And again, that's not anything. No, we want like 16, I think. That's not any judgment or rudeness to him. I don't mean that to come off as anything extra, because it's not. There's nothing to that other than that's just how it was, and it's mostly because I don't like summoning a whole lot. Okay, I can't. Alright, cool. No promises. See ya. I don't like summoning people a whole lot. I like doing it naturally, and I've kind of been on this kick where I want to do a all bosses no summons run of every single Souls game. I did it for Dark Souls 1, but with breaking the game. I've done a all story bosses no summons run of Dark Souls 1. So everything that wasn't the DLC bosses. And I've never beaten... Okay, I should reframe this, because it's not that I have never beaten this, I've never tried the DLC period without breaking the game. And it's not for fear. It's not like I was like scared of it. What do you think I am, a coward? Next question, please. No, it's nothing like that. It was just that I didn't know how to get into the DLC when I was doing my all bosses no summons run. I just didn't feel like looking it up. Is really what it is. So I beat all of the story bosses naturally in Dark Souls 1. And I was like, that's good enough. And all, I should mention, like, all of the main game bosses, not just story bosses, so optional bosses too. I just did them without breaking the game, and that was fun. It was a good time. And then are we gonna rest? We might, just to get the 5 extra SCs. Yeah, why wouldn't we? In fact, reinforce SS flask, please. Thank you. See ya. But with Dark Souls, I haven't, with Dark Souls 2, excuse me, I hadn't done it yet, and I was like, this could be my chance to kind of do it. And I summoned him in once because we were gonna go do a boss together, because he had mentioned, like, hey, we haven't really done bosses in your game. And I was like, we could do one. And it was a chariot boss, which is a gimmick boss that, like, effectively I wouldn't have considered it run breaking if I had help for the chariot boss. And I was able to summon him one time, and then all other summons failed. And then we ended up, again, no, I don't want to cast any aspersion onto him. Don't take this as judgment. We were pretty similar level for a good long while, and then we got to a point where, like, I just wasn't wanting to play for a while because I just had other stuff I wanted to do, and we were playing other games, and it's because that's what I wanted to do. This is, again, nothing against him, but because of that, he ended up playing on our, like, duo characters without me. That I judge him for a little bit, because I was like, hey, I thought those characters were just for us to play, but it's fine. We did take a long break. I just wish he would have run to pass me first. I'm not bitter or anything. But hey, look, Iron Pineapple. See, I didn't even know he could move like that. I knew he could move like this. See you, buddy. Drop the trident. That's like one of the rarest items in the game. That's why I asked for it. But I just, no, it's like, really, it's fine. I'm not actually upset. I just, a lot of people are playing apparently. I just wish that, you know, we could have talked about it. But anyway, he ended up getting quite a lot farther ahead of me, and then I caught up to him in pretty short order, but we couldn't summon each other because we had a huge disparity in soul memory, or at least so we thought. We ended up finding out now, like literally nights ago for me, that there's a ring that, like, actually lets you summon into each other, which, by the way, soul memory in that game, I know that means nothing to you if you've never seen or played the game. It's basically like, hey, what if we added an extra gate that made it harder to play with your friends? And I'll let you out, but I'm gonna kill you. By the way, this guy's a bastard, so don't give me your item. Nope. Give me your item. You're not gonna... Okay, he's not gonna give it to me yet, so I'm not gonna kill him yet. He gives me an item when I let him get back to... Isn't it just a sunlight medal? Yeah, I don't care about a sunlight medal, dude. Your time's up. This guy's just a jerk, and he deserves to die because he killed... Well, okay, being fair, he's not actually that much of a jerk. He kills our firekeeper, and, like, he's kind of in the right for it. Our firekeeper is a tortured soul, but, like... But you can't really be talking all tough when I just literally smacked you to the ground like that. You look like a clown. So be it. Okay. See ya. Give me your ring. Give me your ring. Thank you. That's why we killed him. It's because it's like the best ring in the game. This ring we will never take off. Mostly because if we do, it breaks, but also because it gives you bonuses to literally like everything. Like, it's can I toggle display? Boost HP, stamina, and equip load. It just says load, but it means equip load. Don't be weird about it. Do we have other gear I can equip? Okay, so how about this? Can I wear? Yes, I can. Can I wear? I really doubt it. No, I can't. Okay. But do I have... Sorry, I know I'm sidetracked. I'm sorry. I know I should shut up. I should just play the game. Just play the game. All right. And talk. But so we couldn't play together, but we just found out recently that there's a ring in the game Oh, soul memory. I didn't explain to you what that was. Soul memory is a thing where every single soul that you see in the game that drops ever, even if you lose them, it's every soul you've ever seen. So like, let's say you have 50,000 souls on you and then you die. You've never spent them to level up. Those 50,000 souls are still in your soul memory, even though you never actually used them or got to play with them, experience them in any way. Too bad. Tough guy. They're gone. And that's your fault. Come on down. And soul memory adds up for every soul. And my friend, he is the kind of guy who he grinds in Dark Souls to beat bosses and stuff. Again, there's nothing wrong with this. It's perfectly valid. I don't in any of the Dark Souls games. I will never intentionally grind for anything except for consumables. I will grind to get those. You betcha I will. But I will never grind to get levels because it's not for me. Now, obviously, that's really rich to say when I'm doing a game-breaking method that gives me infinite levels right now, but I'm hoping to, at some point, play other Souls. No! No! I want to cut his tail off. That's fine. I'll do it to the one later. If you cut his tail off, you get a weapon. It's not a good weapon, but I still want it. How long, man? But I just don't grind for levels, and I'm hoping at some point that I can show that I'm decent enough at Dark Souls to where I never actually need to grind for levels. But you know, and maybe you've seen that in how I've been playing. Maybe you're just like, this guy's an idiot. But like, you know, maybe you've seen that, like, hey, I'm not half bad at this, even when I wasn't cheating, I was, or when I am, you see that I still have like dodge timings down and stuff. But disregarding that, we were so disparate in level that, like, so soul memory for summons goes like forward or back one tier, and once you start hitting like the millions of souls that you've seen, it's basically like 250,000 in each direction, I think, or 500,000 in each direction. Oh my god. So like, if I'm at 2 million, I can summon or play with someone who's at 500,000 below me and 500,000 above me, and these are just estimate numbers, right? These aren't like exact numbers. I'm just guessing. And the thing is I was at 2 million or so. Ripped him. And he was at about 5 million. And it's because he ended up like beating the game and then going to New Game Plus. And like, I couldn't tell you why, but he just did, and he he jumped ahead a bit. Do you have anything I want? Purging Stone. I should buy like 4 of these just to be safe. Poison Bite Ring would be nice, but it's not necessary. Yeah, that's enough for now. I'll come back later, because I might just buy out your inventory later. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, he went way further than me and got a lot of stuff done, so he had to do all of his bosses in New Game Plus. So I was summoned into his world a lot to help him. So I ended up gaining a lot of free levels. But yeah, we just found out recently that we could play together, and I've been doing the DLC bosses because of it, and I just beat them alone for the first time in one of the DLCs. Not all of the bosses. I'm still working on the last boss of that DLC, but that guy just jumped for joy because he was dead. But yeah, I'm coming to find out that some of the bosses in Dark Souls 2, and this is, how long have I been talking for? This is a long time ago that I mentioned this, but some of the bosses in Dark Souls 2 are some of the hardest in the entire franchise, I would argue. And I think it's mostly because the game handles like doo-doo. So like, when you're fighting friggin' Doom Knight, and he has every single one of his attacks are extremely telegraphed, obvious, and easy to dodge, but you can't dodge them because no matter how hard you mash the circle button, you're still stuck in 15 animations that happened 8 years ago, and he's just like, oops, my giant sword just cut you in half. And you're like, great, thanks game, this is good, I had fun. Yes, I'm being overly reductive.
Oh, you never. Well, don't.
Yeah, I rang the bell. Bonk, 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 bonk. Oh, I got a soul in my inventory. Why don't I crunch that bad boy up? But I really feel like that game if it played better and its map wasn't so impossibly and stupidly confusing. I feel like it would be a much more well-respected game in the Dark Souls like fandom. So next on the list, and I have, yes, congratulations me, I remembered where I was going before. Next on the list up for Dark Souls, so it goes Sekiro, unfortunately, Demon Souls, again, unfortunately. If I play the new one, it'll probably move up one slot, but that's really its maximum capacity for moving up in my mind. Then Dark Souls 2. I hate to say it, but then it's Dark Souls 1. It just is. Like, this game's good. I love this game. It started it all for me. Really set me on the path, gave me the drive to want to partake in the madness that is this game, and you know, really go head first into it. But it is old, and its age shows, and you can feel it, and it is kind of ugly, and the remaster didn't fix anything. What Demon Souls got for a remaster, I wish Dark Souls 1 would have got. I wish that Dark Souls 1 would have got the Blue Point treatment, and there's still a chance. And Dark Souls 2, but like, being real with you, Dark Souls 2 also needs some mechanical upgrades. But if they just want to upgrade the looks of it, please do Dark Souls 1. It needs it so bad. They should have done it for Dark Souls Remastered, but they didn't, and I'm angry, but it's fine, because ooh, don't hit him, he's just crying. We respect a king who shows his emotions, but no, sorry about it. What's that say? Need comfort. True. Everyone down here seems pretty glum. But it's just like, this game needed a visual upgrade, and it needs some mechanical smoothing, I would say, to be where it really should be. But once it gets those things, I think this game is like kind of brilliant and wonderful and excellent in most ways. Now, again, it's not perfect. I love this guy. This is the champion of Dark Souls right here. He's just straight up chilling. And yes, he's alive. I like see him moving. He's got it down. But like, this game is just, it's good, but there's a reason that it's third from the top for me. And it has a lot to do with just, that's right, you're mage boy. I mean, like, buy these because I'll use them later, but like, don't let it go to your head, kid.
Come back soon.
But Dark Souls 1 is just, it's not smooth enough to be my favorite. It's not quite good enough. It's very good, and like, really a lot of what drags it down is that, like, while its map is really wonderfully designed and interconnected, which I love, and I love that that's been a design philosophy piece going forward for all Souls games, which Sekiro kind of broke, but here we are. The Lost Izalith is awful. It's just terrible. Like, there's no two ways about it. That area sucks, and it's not that it's hard, it's that it's just a bunch of copy and paste textures and enemies, and none of it works together. It doesn't feel like it works separately or in concert. It's not fun. It doesn't look good. It's just bad. It's just a bad part of the game, and I can't really qualify it without just showing you it. If you've seen it, you know what exactly I'm going on about. You're probably like, yeah, it is ugly and all these things you say, because it is. And like, yeah, like, sorry about it, but really, 1,000 souls off, huh? Okay. Where do I go? Dragon Bridge. Right. Yeah, it's a very fun game that I wish was better. And then next on the list, and this part is contentious and hard for me, but next on the list is Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 is a magnificent game. Like, I could play that game back to front, DLC included, not forever, but like for a lot more time than is warranted. And the biggest like ode to that game that I can give is that I make the same build every single time. Is it the best build, quote unquote? I don't know. It's the best quality build, but like people do mono strength, mono dex, intelligence, and faith builds in that game, and they all work like in their own right. And I don't know, like, if you could, oh right, you go this way, you drop down the thing and go to the place. But like it's just like the fact that I can play that game in the same exact style every single time I play it and I'm not bored of it is just, it's insane to me. Like, that game is just a masterclass in exactly what I want from a Souls game. And I love Dark Souls 3. Like, the second I played it when it came out, and like I had a friend at the time. We were no longer friends because he to make a long story short, he actually no, I should kind of make a short story a little long. I'll make the long story short for the part that's like really why we're not friends, but I'll put up the joke answer first. So the joke part is he one time while we were playing Magic the Gathering in my bedroom, which funny enough is actually the bedroom I'm in right now. Life changes a lot and it doesn't change at all, it seems. Ouch. But we're playing Magic the Gathering, and he was like, have you seen the movie Dracula Untold? And I was like, no, I have no interest in seeing it. It looks bad, and I'm good. And he was like, no, you have to see it. It's my favorite movie. And I was like, oh, you mean you just like it a lot? And he was like, no, it's my favorite movie of all time. And I was like, excuse me? You think Dracula Untold with what, Bard the Bowman as Dracula or whatever is your favorite movie you have ever seen? Your favorite piece of cinema? It's Dracula Untold. And he's like, yes. Absolutely yes. Okay, I mean, it's your call, buddy, not mine. Good luck with that. I'm sorry. Have a nice day. And he was genuine. And the reason that it bugs me isn't that he said it, because that's fine. You can say wrong things all you want. I'm sorry to anyone who likes that movie. I don't mean to be as no, I do mean to be as caustic. I just don't. I hope you don't take offense. That's really what I'm hoping to get out of this. I'm hoping that I can insult you to your face and you're okay with it. Sorry if you're not. One moment, quickly. Sorry, the music's gone. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I just wanted to see how long the episode was, because I want to make sure we haven't gone over that like 1 hour mark, but we haven't. So quit your complaining. I'm still talking. But he then went on to explain to me for longer than the entire run length of the movie why he loves that movie and why I need to see it. And so, you know, I'm gonna look it up right now just to like to really affirm to you how long it was, because when I see the run length of the movie, I'll probably be able to tell you how long this conversation was. Dracula not told to anyone. Run length, please. Excuse me. It is 1 hour. It is an hour and 32 minutes. Hour and a half, right? He explained to me, and my then girlfriend, I should mention, who we were also playing Magic the Gathering with, for like we put the game that we were playing on pause, which was a well-developed and contended game where everyone was like, everyone could have won this game. It was anyone's game, and my then girlfriend and I were quite invested in who would be the victor, because we just liked the game and we took games seriously, and I still do take board games seriously. And I don't mean like I'm not like a nightmare guy to play games with, right? I'm not like one of those guys who's like, if we ever play a board game and you even make a joke, we're done. It's not like that. At all, actually. I'm sure you have gathered by my demeanor amongst games I even love and consider to be some of my favorite games of all time, that I'm willing to make fun of them and call them out, and I'm just sitting here goofing and gaffing, right? Don't you ever worry about that. It's nothing like that. I actually, quite the opposite. I prefer a lot of banter over my games. But I also prefer that you take, while you're playing a game with me of any sort, you take at least the experience of like at the same level of seriousness that I'm taking it. So if it's like, if we're both like just, all right, let's just screw off and have fun, that is the tone that I'm happy to have with any game. If it's like, you know, if it's a game like, I don't know, let's say we're playing Minecraft, a game that I am, don't go that way, just why risk death, a game that I'm almost certain to like hate. I don't like Minecraft. It's sorry to tell you. So I you know, I'm sorry if that's a no-no to you. I do not like Minecraft. However, for some bizarre reason, don't tell anyone, but I've had an extremely strong urge to play Minecraft recently. And I hate myself for it because I know I'm not going to enjoy the game or want to play it, but I just do. I just want to sit down, want to spend like $30 for a copy on freaking PC and then mod it and then play it, and then I'm going to sit down and be like, yep, still sucks, and then be done. But I've seen some mods that are like kind of cool and like make it look like, you know, kind of an RPG I want to play and add mechanics to it, but I know it's still Minecraft. And anyway, disregard this, doesn't matter. So you explained to me and her for well over 2 hours why Dracula Untold is such a great movie. And the entire time I'm basically like, hey man, I get it, but like I'm not gonna see it. I'm sorry, like I understand where you're coming from. I get that you like it and that's all well and good, dude, but I do not want to see it. It does not look like a movie that's for me. He's like, no, you don't understand. And then he goes on to explain the entire plot to me, which, like, if you want me to watch something with a vested interest, a good way to guarantee that I probably won't do that is to give away the entire plot to it. And like, that's not a selling point. You can't sit there and be like, but then this happens and then he does this and then you wouldn't believe when this happens. It's like, man, like if you had any chance of getting me to see this, which you didn't, I'm sorry, but I've already made up my mind about this, and I don't do that like all the time. And being fair, there are many things that, almost anything that a couple people in my life, if they were to tell me no, you should reconsider, I would, without question. I'd be like, okay, I'll look back at it then. I will give it another chance because you specifically said so. This guy was not one of them, I'm sure you've gathered. And it was Dracula Untold. Of all things to quote unquote reconsider, it was Dracula Untold. And I was like, no. And then he kept going, and then the game ended up basically ending with everyone being like, okay, it's about time for you to go home, so see ya. And like, it was just the most awkward thing, and we weren't friends after that. Now, the unmemified response and explanation is that it is true that that was the last night we hung out, and it is true that we were not friends after that, but that is not why we are not friends. The easiest way I can put it is that he was incredibly disrespectful to my girlfriend at the time, and I don't take that sort of thing lightly. If I'm with someone, even if I'm just friends with someone, like, I will go much further than having to be involved with someone to say this. If I'm friends with someone and, you know, I am choosing to hang out with them and you, or, you know, whatever, and you blatantly disrespect them while I'm around, you have lost a lot of respect for me. And if I am dating them, you will have no way of gaining that respect back, period. Like, you can't do it. And all right, frick it, I'm gonna tell the long version of the story now, because I'm angry. Because remembering this makes me mad. So that night, whenever she would talk, he would just talk over her, interrupt her, or ignore her. And it's like, that's not what you should be doing. You're an adult, effectively. Like, we were all roughly adults this time, you know. He was, I think, 17. Like, I think he was 1 year younger than us when we were 18, or we were 19, he was 18. I really don't remember. It was a while ago. And yeah, I'm an old man, get over it. But he would just interrupt her, and she was getting mad, right? But I was getting pretty furious pretty quick. And I was like, every time he would do it, I would stop conversation and just glare at him and be like, nope, we're waiting. And when he would stop talking, he'd be like, what? I was like, she was saying something. And then I'd be like, please continue your statement. And if at that point she was uncomfortable with it, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't doing anything that like would have put her in an uncomfortable situation. If she was like, no, it's not worth it, I backed off, because it's not my place to be vicariously angry permanently. But I can be angry for myself, but putting the hey she was talking on does put a lot of weight on her shoulders. I'll admit and I acknowledge. However, she was just as mad as I was by the end of it. I'm in a lot of pain. Send help. All right, we're good. Never mind. I don't need your help. Go away. I don't want you here anymore. But like we were both like, are you kidding me, dude? And then he was a bad driver. Just gonna put it out there. He's a terrible driver. That could have changed by now. I hope it has. But he was a dangerously incompetent driver. And I don't say those words lightly. But being in the car with him, so as a guy who has quite serious driving anxiety.
Brilliant. Thanks.
Whatever of Vinheim. You look exactly like the Jesse Eisenberg from The Social Network. He looks like he's gearing up to audition for the role of Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network. It's just straight up what he looks like. Thanks. But he's a very dangerous driver. So we at some point in the night kind of decided, like, you know what, why don't we go and run and get some food? You know, it's about food o'clock. Bonk. Oh, I didn't hit him. Excuse me. I said bonk. How did I know he was there? just an epic gamer. What can I say? And another bonk. And then you go down here a little bit more. And then 3 doors kick open, right? Ah, dude. Okay, of all the ones that I should have hit, you're it. Because the other 2, sure. I just got home, dude. And the other 2 I hit through a door. They I shouldn't have hit. You, my sword contacted visibly, and it didn't hit you. Anyway, enough of that. So we went and we decided to go get some food, and the ever important question of who's driving came up, and immediately, my girlfriend was like, and again, girlfriend at the time was like, I'll drive, and that was like, I thought the end of it, and he was like, no, I'm gonna drive, and there was an implication behind it that I'm sure you can gather based on how he's treated her thus far in the night, that was immediately frustrating. Of course it was. And tensions were kind of growing, and in us going to get food was already kind of a compromise. It wasn't like a full, like, you know, we were doing this because we wanted to hang out more. It was more like, why don't we go do this because we're hungry anyway, and we'll kind of see how it goes, and if it goes a little bit better, maybe we can figure stuff out, or it's a really good time for us to have a getting off point and just be like, you know what, frick it, get out when we get back. And that's kind of how we were looking at it, right? At least that's certainly how I was looking at it. Sweet, we have full armor now. But quickly to talk about the game again, the reason that's important is because if you have nothing in the slot, it is worse than having. So let's say all of these stats were 0. Mathematically, if we were to take it off, you would think that it would mean nothing. Like all of the defense stats, if they were 0, it would stand to reason that it would mean nothing. But actually having something in the slot gives like a bonus extra little bit of resistance. It doesn't super matter, but for me, like, my brain can comprehend it a lot better. Anyway, how long have I been talking about? Way too long, my god. It's a compromise anyway. So we get in the car and we're going down the road. And I'm not kidding when I say this, right? I'm gonna like not to fight this boss. Yeah, I'm going to go back. Wait, I'm gonna explore a little bit this way and open up a shortcut, and then go back to a bonfire, and then we'll call it an episode. But I'm gonna finish this conversation piece, and I'm also gonna finish a little bit about the tier list. So maybe I'll go a little bit longer than I just mentioned, but biscuits. But anyway, so we're on the road, and I want to make super hyper clear that I'm not exaggerating this, but it's something that like I really wish I was exaggerating, because this was like a deathly silence fell in the car, and I was getting very angry. So we were just driving down the road. All of us were having a conversation, but the music was a little loud because he played loud music, and he just, you know, he was one of those guys. Nothing wrong with playing loud music. I like, well, there is if you get tinnitus, but hello. Give me like 5 of these. Give me like 10 of these. Sorry, I know I have a story to tell. I know, stop telling me about it. I get it. And it was a little loud, and my significant other who was sitting in the back was like, hey, can you turn the music down? Flat out ignores her. And she's just like, okay, that's cool. And then I'm like, hey, mind turning the music down, man? You know, like, just as a thought, maybe you'll listen to me because you're clearly not listening to her. And he just looks at me like, and again, which is a terrifying prospect because he's taking his eyes off the road, which he's horrible at managing as it is, with his eyes fully glued to it. So I'm already like, I'm scared. But he just looks at me, gets a big old grin on his face, and turns it up louder, to the point that she, like, when she was yelling from the back seat, I could not hear her, and I was in the front seat. And I was like, all right, this is great. So we just rode the rest of the car ride in silence, listening to his music, which only he in the car liked. And it was so loud that no one else could hear anyone talk. So we just rode in silence. And like, anger was rising a lot. And then we get to the food, and he's like, are we eating here, or are we taking it back? I was like, we'll take it back, like, without even hesitation. I was like, yep, we're gonna take this back. And we get back. Again, he hasn't turned the music down at this point. It's exactly as loud as it was when he got in there, when he turned it up, excuse me. And still frustrated, still salty. And we get back to our place, and he's like, cool, am I gonna come in and eat? And I was like, no, I think you should be on your way. We're gonna eat, and I think you can, I think you should be going. And he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, we'll talk to you later, man. And he's like, well, I have to come in and get my stuff. I was like, yeah, you can do that, and then we'll see ya. And he like came in and got his stuff, kind of in more or less in silence. And then, oh no, don't. Okay, I thought I just lost his item. And then kind of shoved him out the door, and we're like, see ya. Slammed the door shut behind him, and he walked out, and I never talked to him again. And like, there were a couple side conversations, and we were texting about him to each other while he was there, but we were both like, she was like, can you believe this? And I was like, no, I simply cannot. And the second he was gone, we were both like, are you kidding me that you thought that this was a way to act? And never talked to him again. And I've had other people who are/were friends with him, you know, before and since, and, you know, other conversations, and they're like, well, he's not that bad, you know, he's just awkward. And I was like, no, this was not awkwardness. He was choosing to do this. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he was still doing it. We asked him to stop. We made clear that he shouldn't be doing what he's doing, and it did not matter to him in the least. He just kept going. He kept being a jerk to the person who I cared about more than anything at the time, and to myself. And, you know, those are two big no-nos. And so we were like, we're done with you, guy. But he was the guy who I originally played Dark Souls 3 with, and at the time I had a lot of fun with it because he hadn't shown that side of him yet. And like, we raced to the finish to see who could beat the final boss, going so far as like, we set goals every night to get to, and then on the final night, we were like, hey, you should come over and like we should set up our systems and we should race and get it done. And we did, and I won. And that's not me like rewriting history to be like, and the bad guy lost. No, I crushed him. I destroyed him because I am better than him. Sorry, I shouldn't be so aggressive. This was how long ago was this? At least 4 years ago, I think. Maybe three. No, it couldn't be. It had to be, yeah, about four years ago. This was maybe 5. I'm old. Pardon my slurping. But yeah, this was forever ago, and you know, us playing Dark Souls 3. Wait, it was when Dark Souls 3 came out. Why don't I just look up when Dark Souls 3 came out, dummy? Also, Dracula Untold came out in 2014. There you go. That's a pretty good explanation. Wait, really? This is definitely one in 2014 that we had this conversation, because there's no way. Yeah, 2016. Yeah, this is in 2016, so 4 years ago. Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks. So yeah, 4 years ago this was all happening, and I cut him up. But yeah, he was the guy I played Dark Souls 3 with, and it was a lot of fun. We didn't like co-op summon or anything. We were just racing each other, and it gave more incentive, and it's why that game has a lot of special meaning to me. And even though the guy I was doing with turned out to be a garbage human, you know, which I hope he's a better guy now. I'm not gonna give him a chance. I'll tell you that. I don't care that the then girlfriend is now ex-girlfriend. That doesn't matter. It's how you acted on a human level. It doesn't matter if I am, you know, disgraced by the person who you were disrespecting. That doesn't cancel it out. I don't care about that. I care that you disrespected someone who I cared about. That's what matters to me. It doesn't matter if like I don't care about that person as much, you know, now. It doesn't matter if like that person isn't in my life. It matters that they were, and you acted accordingly while they were. That's what matters to me, and that's what sticks with me. So despite them being garbage, I still like that game. And I hope to play it at some point. And then number 1 is most obviously the only one left, Bloodborne. Bloodborne's my favorite for many reasons, and legitimately, if I do ever get around to doing the tier list, by the way, I'm sorry I've just been sitting here doing nothing, but it's just like, I just want to wrap up this thought, and if I start doing something, I'll be talking for way too long again. But Bloodborne would be the top, and if I do the tier list where I like do, here's my preconceived notions, and that's going to be like the ending reveal, and then here's like me breaking it down on the fly, Bloodborne will almost certainly, oops, didn't mean to move my mouse there. Bloodborne will almost certainly be like perfect 10 out of 10s in almost every category, like gameplay, in aesthetic, in bosses, in difficulty. Like everything I feel works perfectly. There's only like 1 or 2 things that I'm like, that I would have changed a little bit. But like it's almost, as far as the Dark Souls formula goes, I think it's as close to perfect as anyone has gotten, and I fear anyone will get, but I hope that's not the case. But that's really the roundabout way of me getting there. I'm sorry it took me so long to get there. There's a lot of personal life stories that came up on the way. And in fact, you know, what time is it? Probably, yeah. I got time for one more, so I'm going to record one more. You'll see at least another episode of me playing some Dark Souls for another hour, hanging out, chatting, got some more to say, so I'll say it. But, oh man, my eyes are really actually just hollow holes, huh? Let's fix that. You know what, for the end of this episode, as a treat, I will reverse my hollowing. I'll stop being a beef jerky man, and I will become a human! There I am. I have skin now. Isn't that wonderful? It's all covered by stuff, but I have eyes again, too. So that's me. Here we are. So yeah, I'll be back for at least one more episode, and again, I still haven't figured out anything with my uploading schedules, because it's the same night, so here we are. But thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for bearing with these long stories. I hope that if you're listening to this in podcast format, that you're enjoying it as well as any of the other series that I do in dialogue format. Because I know that I have some, for people who were like regular watchers before the wall, before everything went to heck for the channel and I stopped doing regular uploads, I know that there were people who were doing it as like a podcast in the car you know who you are, if you're watching. But they were doing it that way, so I hope that this is as interesting as the series as that you were watching it with before, and I hope it is. I hope that you don't need the visual aspect, because for the most part I feel like it's a lot of conversation. There's some things where I'm like, aha, see what I'm doing on screen, but a lot of the time I'm just kind of chatting. So I'm hoping that this is working for you, and I'm hoping I can do more of this, because I would love to. But regardless, thank you for sticking with me. Hello, Ghost. Welcome to the fire. Thank you for hanging out. Hello, other ghosts. Welcome to the fire. Oh. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.